Nasri. Looks Rashad in!
Gabriel Martinelli jusqu'au bout. Oh, il a fait l'exploit de Gabriel Martinelli. Le coast to coast façon NBA pour relancer les Gunners.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the King and Gunners podcast, our 10th episode actually. With me, Omar Bashir and Ahmad Banafa. Ahmad, a very, very, very good morning to you.
Yeah, very good morning to you, Omar. How are you doing? This is the second day after the Manchester United game, and I can tell you it feels amazing.
It does. 14 years in the waiting, some could say. We have something else to call upon rather than that Manchester City game away from home. First win at the big top six since 2015, our first win at Old Trafford since 2006 or 7, I don't know. So
yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
206. But actually, that's just in the league, right? We have beaten them a couple of times, I think, in the FA Cup. So yeah, it's good to finally get that Premier League record and put it away to bed. You know?
Absolutely. I was so a very interesting fact. The last, I think, 4 times we've beaten United at home, at their home, has been by a 1-0 scoreline. I think it was, of course, Aubameyang scored, and then Adebayo who scored, and then Will Todd who scored, and then I can't remember the other one. But I think it's 4 or 5, I'm not sure. Also, it's quite interesting.
Fabregas one. No, Fabregas to Adebayo.
Yeah. Fabregas to Adebayo. So yeah, we won at Old Trafford, but it was a good game. I felt that we controlled some aspects of the game without being dominant. I don't know if that makes any sense. I felt that I never felt that we were out of control, or I never felt that we were dominant, but I did feel that there was a sense of responsibility around the pitch and kind of control around the pitch, that we had this United team sort of like within our reach, within our grasp. I don't know if you got the same feeling.
Yeah, I mean, we basically just said, look, we are coming here to play our game, and whatever you guys want to do, we have the answer for you. I mean, we just said, you can't play your game. You're going to play our game, and that's what we did. I mean, there's no point in the game where I felt like Man U, despite having more of the ball, they just shaded possession on us. But despite that, it was nothing. Like they offered, I could say they offered pretty much nothing the whole game. We were totally in control without being dominating, as you said. So it felt good.
Yeah, I felt that a lot of the feeling about the game was that Arsenal didn't really have to do much to. I think a lot of people are pointing towards the United performance rather than the Arsenal one. People saying, I don't know, and United really didn't like. Okay, I mean, Arsenal didn't like play that well. They just needed to show up and they win. I would sort of disagree with that. I felt that we limited what they could do with the ball, and I think that sense that we weren't incredible. I don't think we have been incredible for quite a while. We don't create that many chances, so having somebody to expect that we would, go there and create a lot of chances would, for me, not make any sense. I think anybody who has watched Arsenal of late knows that the performance that we gave on Sunday at Old Trafford was a good performance, and we created
Um,
enough, I would say, to win the game. Not by
Let me
me.
just cut you off there.
Mm,
I mean, you said we haven't been incredible, and I agree with that. But what we have been is we've been dependable.
mm,
Like whatever we've seen from Arsenal is what we've come to expect, and it's consistent. It doesn't change every other game. It's small progressive increments of what we can do, and we keep seeing that the consistency in our progression of the team as a whole, and it's actually quite nice considering we have played three of the number one, two, three teams of last season already,
mm.
and Leicester was number five as well. So considering that and how we have been playing, sure, it isn't it's not gonna light up the world, of course, but it's been dependable, it's been consistent. It's the same way. It's uh, try and control what we can do for as long as we can do and try and get the win out of it. And it's actually quite nice to see in that way.
Yeah, as well. I think we sort of reverted to what we knew, but amplified it
Mm,
in a way. I think that now would lead us now. I think we should go right back to talk about the team news once it came out. I have to say, when the team news came out, I was not convinced, I think, shall we say, about what Mikel Arteta chose and how wrong I was. Of course, I'll be the first one to admit that I was, but I was not convinced about things that were not, uh, I think, what generic in terms of what angered people with that team or people were discontented about the team. I understood the El Neni bit. One, because of the
mm,
minutes that the Granit Xhaka has been playing. So, and two, also tactically, I think El Neni moves around the pitch much better than Granit Xhaka, especially the team with a lot of pace, Greenwood, Rashford, and with the guile of Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba. You needed somebody who's more dynamic in his movement and in his running.
mm,
So the El Neni move made sense for me, but I only thought of it in a defensive aspect. I think also offensively, El Neni did play a part. I was sort of hoping that Aubameyang would also play forward, but he didn't. I think I think that's what frustrated me most. Funnily, I sort of expected, like I said, Aubameyang, but when I saw it, I took it more differently than than I would have expected it to. But apart from that, I
yeah.
think it looked, and Holding, of course, was the big surprise. I did not see that coming at all. And Arteta said as much. He had one training session thing on Friday. So, I mean, anybody who plays instead of Mustafi is okay for me.
Mm.
So I was happy with that as well.
Yeah, with the lineup, I am right with you. Holding, of course, was a big surprise inclusion because there had been no team news before the game, so seeing him start was as much a surprise as it was like a relief because, like you, I didn't think Mustafi would have been able to handle that Manchester United forward line. So it was a surprise, but very much welcome inclusion from
Mm.
Arteta to pick Holding, and I really have enjoyed his performances this season. This season, when he has started and played for us, he has done so uh, admirably, I would say. Um, the other surprise inclusion was El Neni. I mean, you're not alone in saying that it was surprising because it felt kind of a bit more defensive um than we wanted. I think most of us would have expected if he was starting Partey, maybe with the Shaka because of his dependability, because of his the kind of game we know he can play against top teams. or at least Ceballos to progress the ball better. Maybe I think that's what a lot of us were thinking he would have picked out. And boy, oh boy, were we surprised by El Nani's performance. I mean, what a shift he put in. But I think we'll come to that. In the forward line, I think Willian starting on the right again ahead of Pepe or even Nelson, I would say. It's kind of annoying, but at the same time, I think I can understand what Arteta was trying to go for in terms of Willian's positional sense on the pitch, the way he combines with Hector, the way he understands basically that position, that the kind of game Arteta wants to play.
I
So
think as well
I didn't have. Mm,
on the Willian and Pepe thing. I think
mm,
Arteta spoke at length about Pepe after the Dundalk game, and
mm,
he said he needs to know when to release the ball, when he touches the ball, his positioning, his
yeah.
movement. And I think we just to skip to the penalty. I think that
Mm,
pass there. I mean, Willian looks up, knows when to release the ball, and I think that's when Pepe. Also, Pepe lets himself down a little bit. He's
mm,
he's uh, he's he's thinking on when to release the pass, when to give the pass, when to hold the run.
mm.
I think that's where he needs to improve. I think once he does, maybe we'll see more of him in the team. But I feel that the Willian one as well, I was not happy about it. But I think having watched the game, of course, with hindsight, it was a good move. I think he had a decent game and helped us in terms of our shape and our structure.
Yeah, but well, we'll come to more on Willian as we talk about the game more. So yeah, overall, I think it was an understandable lineup. The El Neni bit, we had seen him against Liverpool as well, so I could understand Arteta's thinking. Actually, looking back at it, El Neni didn't play all that bad against Liverpool.
Mm.
He actually had quite a decent performance. It's just that Liverpool are the team that they are with the pressing that they do, and I think he was partnered with Shaka, who's a bit slow maybe on the turn, and so yeah, I could understand the El Neni inclusion. It just took me a bit off guard because I did want to see Ceballos start. So yeah, on to the game. I think um, how we started. What did you make of that first 45?
Um, I remember I was watching it very, you know how I get when we watch the big games. So I was watching it very pensively. And the
Mm,
first, I remember when I looked at the clock for the first time, I think it was the 21st minute, I was like, we made a decent start here. I mean,
mm,
we were passing the ball very crisply, I think, around the United box.
mm.
The tactics were very, very interesting as well. Interesting. When I say interesting, I'm being very, very kind to them. Uh, they, they of course went with the diamond. We discussed this in the last podcast with Sohail. He didn't think they would go with the diamond, and I
Mm,
think a lot of people would agree that the diamond, especially going into an Arsenal game, I think, well, in theory, you would think, okay, maybe Arsenal don't have many numbers in the middle of the park,
mm,
usually, especially when they play with the back three. So he
mm.
would maybe, okay, let's stick with the diamond. But I think after half an hour, you could very well see that it was not working. Um, I think they didn't have um, any ball progressor very deep from them. So it was very difficult for them to break out, and it was easy for us to camp within their defensive third and try to eke out an opportunity, which came from good movement, which came from width, and I felt that at the time we looked very good. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I thought we started very well. I think we took the game to them. The way they opened up, you talk about their diamond formation, and they tried to load up the middle of the park because, as you say, yes, they thought they would take advantage of our lesser numbers in the middle. Um, but I think it would have worked more had they had a bit more of an energetic start, maybe, or as you say, maybe a deep ball progressor, a better ball progressor, maybe to play those balls through the midfield. But as it so happens, we started on foot. So what we did to counter their formation was going back to basics, as I talked about in my last podcast with you. I said I wanted us to see. I wanted us as Arsenal to go back to basics in the 3-5, maybe that formation. That hybrid kind of formation.
Hmm.
Um, the 3-4-3, and so it was what I wanted to see in terms of how we would progress. Because if you look back at the last game where we won against Manchester United back in January, it was more or less the same thing with overloading the width because we know they're fullbacks. While Wan-Bissaka is very strong one-on-one, if you load him up with an extra player there, he doesn't know where to uh, basically which player to mark. Is it Aubameyang? Is it Saka? And on the other side as well, Bellerin and Willian loading up on Luke Shaw. And I think that's where most of our chances came from, actually. It was more or less from the wings. So, yeah, I think we started better and therefore controlled the game better. And also talking about this deep progressive passer of Manchester United, I think they started two, but in McTominay and Fred. But if you look at the game, you'd see Lacazette actually moving to mark sort of the deepest lying midfielder of theirs. So you'd see either if it was Fred who went in to collect the ball, then Lacazette would go and actually just close his passing channels or just sit on him, trying to press up on Fred, trying to limit up the options. And if it so happened that Pogba would move in there to collect the ball and Fred moving up infield, then Lacazette would sit on Pogba and do the same thing. If it was McTominay, Lacazette was just sitting on the deepest lying playmaker for Manchester United. So that actually kind of worked very well because the the way we played, I mean, the way they were forced to play is they were forced to play out wide because of Lacazette, and then it so happened that we had these overloads on both sides of the pitch, and um, it turned out better for us because we would win the ball in those areas, and then we would try and move the ball up, and we created many chances from those positions. And as well, I would say to mention Partey and El Neni in the first half as well. If they did manage to get through the middle, I think El Neni and Partey were almost always there. I think they only had one instance where they broke away with the Rashford into Greenwood effort.
Yeah.
That half chance, yeah, the one shot on target that was kind of threatening.
Yeah, I think as well.
So yeah,
The they they there was a apart from like I said in terms of defensively, as you said, to mark the deepest line midfield to prevent the progression of the football, and then they had El Neni and Partey were literally man marking Pogba and Bruno. So, and then the defenders were that's Holding and Gabriel were very touch tight on Greenwood and Rashford.
Marcus
So
Rashford. Yeah.
so that was I think very good in terms of how we defended. I think as well, just to go back to attack, I think we were defending. I think we'll say from the flanks, but I'd say we were defending from the right flank, especially because I think on the Wan-Bissaka side, Wan-Bissaka is a very, very good one-on-one defender. It's very, very difficult to get past him. So that's, I think, why we saw a lot of Aubameyang as well coming into the middle. And we literally, I think, just overloaded on that right-hand side. Bellerin's movement throughout the game was very, very intelligent. I think in the first half, he was more going in to out, and then in the second half he was basically in that half space between your central defender and your fullback, where he was running in behind. In fact, the penalty comes from such a movement. So I felt that he did well on that, and as well his delivery was much improved.
Yeah, Bellerin. I mean, the crosses he was putting in were very dangerous. That first chance for Aubameyang, that's actually a very, very dangerous ball. It just doesn't get recorded as a chance created because there was no shot coming at the end of that. But that was actually a very dangerous chance. And then there was another cross, I think, for Saka later on in the game. Another one that just Aubameyang didn't control because Lindelof was there. And another one that he sent into Aubameyang again, who sent it to Lacazette, and again Lindelof was there. All these were very dangerous chances that we were creating, and it was just a matter of inches, I would say, that we were not ahead at that point because we were actually playing some really, really nice, silky football, I think, in the first half. Just going back to Gabriel and Holding, you mentioned how tremendous they were in pressing the likes of Greenwood and Rashford. They got yellow cards very early on, and how they managed to finish that game with the one yellow card alone. I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing to see.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. I think the whole, I think offensively, I think especially after the back of the week after the Leicester game, I think there's a lot of talk about creativity, and I think we stepped it up. I think, as I said in the beginning, we amplified what we did. I think offensively, we moved that United defense when we needed to. Not as often as many would like, but I think at a constant rate and a rate which was acceptable, which created enough chances. And when the halftime whistle came, I think many people were like, felt like sort of like the Leicester game. I mean, we did well, we played well. I don't think United did much, but we haven't scored, so that might come back to haunt us. I think you felt as well. We were texting back and forth during the game, and you were very, very concerned about the chances that we were missing. I think everybody was concerned, to be fair, about that. So
yeah.
I think second half, I think it was more tense than people would have liked.
Yeah, in the second half, Manu started much stronger. They really came flying out the blocks. I think had a really talking maybe over the halftime break. So yeah, they really came at us. They were trying to get through our defense, our midfield. But credit to us, we really, really limited them. We absorbed that pressure that they were piling on. And I think we waited it out. And I think around the 60th minute, thereabouts, we started back into the game again after we had soaked all that pressure from them, which resulted in actually no shot on target at that time. So yeah, we started getting into the game, and that's where now the penalty comes and goal comes from there, with the Willian pass after a period around, was it 20 minutes total of just a period of Arsenal possession where Manu could not get a touch of the ball. I think there were 30 passes, I think, in that build up to that goal, to that penalty. Yeah, so it was just a period of, I mean, the whole game basically was just really calm and collected from Arsenal. Very responsible play, very smart play, I would say. We were, even though we were a bit on the back foot, I would say we were still a better team because of the way we controlled how Manu would play throughout the game. So yeah, that led to our penalty, and what a well-taken penalty by Aubameyang.
Yeah, again, the movement of Bellerin from that inside space made a very good run. Willian released him at the right time. Poor challenge from Pogba. I think he just touches him, to
The
be
man
fair.
was out of breath, he says.
Yeah. We talked about him. We talked about Pogba in the podcast, and he's not really had a good start to the season. Personally, I'm actually a very big fan of Pogba. I think he's a very, very talented player. He just looked out of it. He looked out of breath out of the time. Maybe the COVID-19 has affected him. Maybe, I don't know. But
Maybe.
he looked extremely tired. He looked to slow down the game when I think fast breaks were possible because they have a very quick line. But he always slowed down the game. Partey really had the number on him, made loads of interceptions, really won the ball off him quite a bit. And I think the penalty sort of culminated what was a pretty poor performance from him. And well, I think it's, if you ask me, it's soft, but these days those are given. So if they're going to be given to everybody, they should be given to us, and it was given to us by Mike Dean, no less, at Old Trafford.
Yeah, Mike Dean at Old Trafford. I was shook. I mean, I never expected that. I expected Mike Dean to just wave it away, play on. He is wont to do. That's the third penalty we have received against Manu at Old Trafford in all the years of Premier League football. Can
And
you imagine?
we've missed at the time we had missed
We've
all of
missed
them.
Yeah, the first two we had missed. uh, Actually, the other one that we missed came in our last win at Old Trafford.
Yeah, the Gilberto Silva one.
Yeah, so that's also very interesting. I was actually quite afraid that Aubameyang might miss, or maybe and this would maybe turn up into some Manu heroic story, or man miss a penalty or what. Like I was really scared. I was watching the penalty through, like, I was covering my eyes, so I was watching it through the fingers. So
I have to say, when I saw
uh,
Oba standing over the spot, I
mm.
was very confident. I knew this guy was going to take the penalty. I think if it was a year ago, I think I would have been a bit worried. But I think
Wait,
he has improved his penalty
yeah.
techniques and
He
his
says they've been
accuracy.
practicing it. He says
Yeah,
they've been
yeah. If
practicing
you
it a
look
lot.
if you look at his penalties when he first joined, I think they leave a lot to be desired. But I think now they're very
Yeah.
accurate. They're very accurate. They're very into the corner. I think there's one penalty he scored in a big game. I can't remember which one it was. Um, I can't remember. It's very recent. He scored. I think maybe it was in the Community Shield penalty shootout. I think so. He scored a very good penalty. It was. I hate Van Persie, but it was Van Persie-esque. It was right on the sides, on the side nettings, with a lot of pace, a lot of power. It was very good penalty, and I think that was playing in my mind. In fact, I think it was that penalty that was playing in my mind. I was like, he's going to score, and he's going to score emphatically, and he scored. He did.
Yeah, what a good penalty that was. Sent the hair the wrong way. Um, and from then on, I think we just controlled the play again. We just sat back, tried and see what Manchester would do. I think we didn't want to take too much risks. As we know, Manu are very fast on the counter. They have the players to punish us, but we really controlled what they could and could not do. And all they had in the second half was, I think, one speculative shot from Matic when he came on, and that was it. I think they had nothing to offer in terms of attack from the way we controlled the game.
One thing I liked about the last 10 minutes, I say, was the shithousery that was going on, which I really, really liked. There was when Aubameyang was withdrawn for Mustafi.
Yeah,
He
and he refused to
yeah,
go
he was
first.
walking off very slowly. He went to, I think it went to
Mhm.
Bellerin. He went to give him the captaincy,
The armband.
and
Yeah.
McTominay was very very upset about it. Uh,
Actually, that was Matic. That was Matic who was trying to push him away.
no, McTominay was there as well.
And
McTominay was there. He like
oh,
grabbed the. I don't know. You watched the match again, but what I remember is that McTominay grabbed
yeah.
the armband from him and just shoved it
Oh,
to Bellerin. Then he was like, "Go on, get off the
mm,
pitch." It was very, very
yeah.
funny. I think that, and
Matic
then
as well tried to push
yeah, he
Aubameyang
tried to
off,
push him
and was
away.
that Aubameyang tried to get some more seconds on the pitch. What are you doing?
Yeah,
I'm
it was
walking
very
off.
annoying. I think my brother is a Man United fan, and he was absolutely livid about
Mm.
what was going on. He was like, get off the pitch. you know, it was fun. I think as well. Nketiah came on. There
Mm.
was a time he okay. I think there was a period when he drove the ball to the corner flag, and then they messed it up with
Mm.
Maitland-Niles. There was a bit of that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then the ball came back. Gabriel won it again, fantastic defending, and then
Gabriel is a monster of a defender, man.
he dribbled to the middle of the line,
The-
and then he waited for a push, and he just
yeah.
fell flat on his face, and then the commentator was like, "And that should be that."
This guy, man, Gabriel, I really
Yeah,
love him, man.
he
What
was.
what he's done since he started playing for us, he's just been immense.
I
The
think I
guy is a
felt
wall. I
I,
mean,
fe- I felt as well after the yellow card to
mm,
play in the manner that he played and to execute whatever he wanted to execute in the manner that he did
mm,
was, I
mm,
think,
mm.
very very good. Because at that moment in
Yeah, I
time,
mean the tackles in the second half against Greenwood, the one in the box, the
mhm, against
against
Matic,
Matic,
yeah,
like which he timed very, very well. I think Man were crying for a penalty that
piss off.
was, you know, I was half expecting Mike Dean to cause some drama as
No,
he's like to do,
yeah,
but Mike Dean had a quite a decent game.
yeah, but
Um,
he was okay. I'm not one
He
to
was
praise Mike
okay. I
Dean.
mean, considering his standards of officiating against us, I think I think yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, he actually did quite well. There was a moment that pissed me off when he stopped this break of ours. Do you
Mm,
remember
yeah.
when we had broken as we have been doing in the past, like we beat Manchester United's press. We played out from the back, and then we were kind of trying to progress the play through I think it was Partey who was moving the ball up and was trying to cut across to the left wing to Obama and Saka, whoever was there, and Mike Dean just happened to step into the path of the ball, and that counter was just stopped dead in its tracks. And I was like, "What the hell are you doing? What is this? This is just a counter gone to waste." Like, ah. And yeah, aside from that, I think Mike Dean had a decent game. Fair play to him.
Yeah, he was good. He was okay. I think he made the right calls during the game. Um, I thought as well. I think he did well. I think the two centre back got yellows. They sort of were roughing up Rashford, especially. I think whenever he touched the ball, I don't think he did anything with the ball. I think that was intentional. Whenever he just got a touch of the ball, the centre backs would touch
Holding was
tight on him.
yeah.
Really didn't give him any space to do so. I think against Rashford, my brother was telling me, against Rashford, he's not good at receiving the ball in those spaces as a centre forward. So I think
Yeah.
had it been Martial, it would have been different. I think Martial is better in those situations. But I think for the game, I think that was a good enough tactic. They got yellow cards for it, but I think they maintained that sort of pressure until the end of the game.
The player, let's talk about Partey in the game. I mean, what a game he had. Him versus that midfield. I mean, okay, El Neni actually played a monster of a game as well, but just Partey alone, the likes of Pogba against the likes of Bruno Fernandes. Who else came on? Van de Beek came on. These guys actually could not do anything with the ball because of our midfield duo. Partey, I don't know. I don't have the adjectives to describe what he did. He was
I think
just incredible throughout.
he had a powerful performance. I think people would point out his tackling, his interceptions, but I think what impressed me the most was his passing, his dribbling as well. He made a couple of dribbles during the game. I think it improved. I think as going forward, he gave us something different. He gave us something that we don't necessarily have of that quality, shall we say. His progression of the
It's
ball.
uh, it's basically what we were talking about. In our last podcast together, I think we wanted to see more of Arsenal progressing the ball through the middle of the park as opposed to wide areas, and I think Partey did that yesterday. I mean, I keep saying yesterday. On Sunday, Partey was trying to get the ball to move it up the pitch whenever he had it or whenever El Neni had it. Yes, he would go wide sometimes. Yes, El Neni would also go wide sometimes, but there was a lot of progression through the middle of the park whenever he drove forward. And it actually, I think this is something that really helped in controlling the pattern of play for us, just trying to get Manu maybe to press on him and then he releases the ball out wide. Just trying to pull the players to him, just acting as sort of the center of gravity for the ball. And I think, I don't know if I should mention this now, but when Partey starts, I don't think there's a need for Granit Xhaka. I think that dependence on Granit Xhaka is no longer as necessary with Thomas Partey on the pitch. I do think Xhaka is still a very good player, and I think he will play a lot for us. But from what I saw on Sunday, I think that dependence on Granit, I think, is starting to be weaned off. As well, sorry about that. As well, Shaka has not been playing the full games of matches. I think we're starting to move away from him just a little bit, and be one of the final seasons of Granit Xhaka, in my honest opinion.
I think as well, just talk, on the Shaka thing, um, to El Neni. I think El Neni is a player who enables the midfielders around him.
Mm,
He gives the midfielders around him the platform and the base. So I think El Neni with Shaka makes sense because once he gets the ball, he was looking to give it to Partey, and Partey would now, okay, I've got the ball in the middle of the pitch, and let's see how I can progress it either through the wings or through forward play directly into the striker.
mm,
So I felt that.
mm,
Whereas in the Leicester game with Ceballos and Shaka, they sort of bypassed Partey, and all the balls were going when Shaka or Ceballos got the ball. They were looking to progress the balls themselves and ignoring Partey in that, and he sort of was like a bystander. I felt in this game, I
yeah.
think we went through Partey a lot more, and it served us well.
Yeah, about that Leicester game and Shaka. Whenever Shaka plays, he tends to pull the ball more towards him. I think this just comes naturally when he's on pitch. I
Mm,
think it's that air of leadership he has around him. That's through no fault of his own. He is a really good player, but I think he has some limitations in terms of what he can do. That Partey just surpasses him that much more. You know. So yeah, it comes back to what I've said. I think now with Party in here, I think that dependence on Shaka that we used to have um, is going to start being weaned off just little by little, and I think uh, by the end of the season, I don't think maybe I don't know if we'll try and sell him maybe, but yeah, I don't think he's necessary now with Party here.
mm. Well, I think at the end of the game, I think we were feeling very confident. Arsenal, looking at the table now, we are now ninth. Played 12 points.
Mm,
I think we're level on points with Chelsea, 1 point behind.
Aston Villa.
I forget about them. 1 point behind. 1 point behind Everton. 2 points
Mm,
behind Tottenham. Three behind Leicester, and four behind Liverpool. Sorry.
Liverpool.
City and United are below us. So I think about 7 games in, I think we'll see maybe after a couple of games, maybe 3, 4 games. I think we're starting to see shape of how it is in terms of the table. But I'm happy with it. This is a table after we have already faced. We've already gone to Anfield, Etihad, and Old Trafford. So I think that needs to be put into perspective.
Yeah, and you mentioned something. You texted me after the game. We have the best defensive record,
Yeah,
and I still can't wrap my head around that. It's just so surprising to hear Arsenal has the best defensive record in the Premier League, and I'm like, wow, is this who we are right now?
it's George Graham
Eh,
all again. 1-0
mm,
to the Arsenal.
to the Arsenal. It's amazing. I wanna tell you about this Wenger quote that I found on El Neni.
Hmm.
Yeah, Wenger said this is back in 2019 about El Neni. He says he is a very strong and active player. He is a player with a modern style of play and that always gives his best for his team. El Neni is a very tactically useful player, very active inside the pitch, and what strikes me the most is how he protects his team. His input within the team is great, and not in terms of goal creation, because he's not the type to have the final touch before the goal, but because of how helpful he is in the build-up. El Nani's style of play adds protection to the team. That's what Wenger says about El Nani, and Arteta sees this as well. It's what you said. He facilitates the other players to shine, to have that the better game that they can. Yeah. I'm still impressed by that El Nani performance. It was wonderful.
Yeah, well, that now leads us to, I think, man of the match. Who did you think the man of the match was, in your opinion? I think Arsenal gave it
Wow.
to Partey. The fans voted. But who was your man of the match?
It's hard to pick. I mean, so many players had really, really good games. Lacazette, I think, was maybe underrated in that game. He played really well.
Mm.
We've spoken at length about El Neni, Partey, Gabriel, Holding, Bellerin, Tierney as well. We haven't mentioned much of him, but he also had a good game despite misplacing a few forward passes. Um, I think everyone except Willian, who I think had just an okay performance. He wasn't great as much as the other guys were, but he had an okay performance. So you can't really pick out players as well. When Arteta was asked post-match, he was asked about Partey, Gabriel, and he was just like, more, more as
Yeah,
well. It was very good.
yeah,
Yeah, so it speaks a lot to how the team performed whole. I think this is what we want to see. Everyone putting their shirt on the line, everyone just playing for the club. And it was good to see. I don't want to pick on anyone. If I absolutely had to, I'll give it to the Egyptian man, Pyramid Shavi.
uh,
Yeah, he was immense, I think.
yeah.
And
So
the way he facilitated the rest of the team, as we've spoken about, I think I don't know. I can't give any one player. Uh,
yeah, I think I think, as you said, it was good performances all around from the team. I think everybody did well with whatever that they had to do. Those that didn't were functional and were okay in what they did. So I felt that it was an all-round very good performance from us, and it resulted with us taking 3 points home.
shall we talk about the next game, or is there anything else we can add about the Manu game?
No, who are we playing on Thursday again?
Mulder, is it?
Molde. I think they have 6 points as well, so that
Mm.
should be a very interesting game. I think, are we home or away? I'm trying to build up the Europa
I'm
League
not
race.
sure if we're playing. I think we're playing away. No, we're playing home first, and then away after
Let me look at the
the break.
fixtures. All right, we have them at the Emirates on Thursday at 11 again. So I think for me, an important game. We need to win it so we can maintain top spot. That would be 3 points out of 3 wins out of three.
Mm.
So that should be interesting. And then of course there's Aston Villa on the Sunday, but it's a very late game.
Yeah.
It's at 10:15. So
I don't know about you. I really don't like these late games on Sunday. What is it for?
oh,
It's just
I didn't say I didn't like them. I just said it's a late game. So I mean, it gives us more time to recover. That's what I'm thinking.
maybe. So do play Aston Villa title challengers as they have started.
Well, they've gone off a little bit off the boil last couple of
But
games.
but they're still scoring a lot of goals. I mean, they lost yesterday, sure. I mean, I keep saying yesterday. They lost on Sunday, sure, but they scored 3 goals in the process. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's not being, if they do score a lot, we know we can't create many chances, maybe as much as we would like right now. So yeah, I think maybe Arteta will. I think I want to see the same formation, the same lineup that we saw, just for that bit of consistency from us. We've been picking a different lineup, I think, in almost every game. So I think a bit of consistency would do us good.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit of Nelson, a little bit of Joe Willock as well.
I was talking about Aston Villa. For Mulder, definitely. Yeah, the
Yeah,
youngsters. I want to see more of them.
yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, that's what we want to see, isn't it? The more consistency from us. For Europa League, the youngsters, I think they earned themselves another chance to start after their Europa League performance the last week. Um, it's been good from us so far in the Europa League. So I want to see that being carried on. As you said, Molde also have 6 points out of 6. So it would be nice to win again to get a bit of cushion so we can retain that number 1 spot.
Yeah, hopefully we get our win on Thursday and on Sunday, and we have a good week overall. Thank you all for the listeners for tuning into this week and for tuning in on our 10th episode. Thank you, Ahmad, once again, and welcome back. And we will see you, I think, next week after 2 wins out of 2. Kwaheri.
Bye-bye.